A lone traveler on a Sahara dune suddenly hears the sand beneath him sing. A deep, haunting hum rolls across the empty desert, with no other soul in sight. The ground itself is humming like a gigantic instrument. Greetings, seekers of the strange. Welcome to Beyond Bizarre. I'm your host, taking you past normal, beyond weird, into the absolutely mind-blowing. Today we journey from the Sahara to the Mojave to the Gobi, chasing the mystery of sand dunes that literally sing. Stay tuned to learn how and why the desert itself can sound like a ghostly choir, and what secret turns lifeless sand into a booming musical spectacle. For centuries, people have heard the desert's bizarre music and puzzled over its source. Marco Polo was so spooked by Asia's booming dunes that he blamed evil spirits, reporting that the sands at times fill the air with the sounds of all kinds of musical instruments, and also of drums and the clash of arms. In Chile, villagers heard a droning hill and named it El Bramador, the Roarer, for its thunderous bellowing. We now know these singing sand dunes are very real and very rare. Only about 35 desert locations around the world have them, yet their ghostly hum can carry for miles. Some dunes even blast out sound at 105 decibels, louder than a rock concert, audible up to 6 miles away, and lasting as long as 15 minutes. Why on earth do piles of sand act like gigantic musical instruments? That's the mystery we're here to unravel. Let's start in Morocco's Sahara, where one particular dune can literally sing on its own. In the remote Atlantic Sahara, scientists discovered a giant crescent-shaped dune that spontaneously hums, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a single afternoon, if the wind conditions are just right. Wind forces sand to accumulate at the top of the dune until the angle of the slope reaches a tipping point of about 35 degrees. An avalanche of sand cascades down the dune's lee side, and a deep drone erupts, reverberating across the desert. Researchers measured the Moroccan dune's voice at about 105 Hz, roughly a low G-sharp 2 octaves below middle C. That means this huge Barshan dune is humming out a bass note in key, a natural desert bass that quivers through the ground and air. Now journey to California's Mojave Desert, where the famed Kelso dunes hide an even louder secret. These dunes tower over 600 feet high, among the tallest in North America, and they too have a voice. In the 1970s, a prospector-turned-geologist named Jack Hereford climbed Kelso's highest ridge to investigate reports of booming sand. At the summit, Hereford pushed a sheet of sand over the steep slip face. The desert's silence was shattered by strange sounds. A low-throated boom echoed as a whole section of sand slid down. Then came loud, tuba-like oompa notes filling the air. The vibrations were so strong they shook the ground beneath him. Incredibly, other noises emerged too, sounds vaguely similar to barking seals rising from beneath the sand. It was as if the dune had come alive with an unseen orchestra of bass instruments. It took modern science to finally tune in to the dune's secret. In recent years, physicists from Paris to California have probed these booming sands with high-tech experiments. In 2009, researchers demonstrated that it's the avalanching sand that sings, not the dune as a whole. A French team led by Stéphane Douardi traveled to 2 dunes, one near Morocco and one near Oman. The Moroccan dune consistently hummed a single low G-sharp, whereas the Omani dune sometimes unleashed a cacophony ranging from 90 to 150 Hz, almost every note between a low F-sharp and a bass D. The scientists then compared the sand itself. The big reveal: a dune with well-sorted same-size grains tends to sing a pure note, while a dune with mixed grain sizes sounds like it's singing multiple notes at once. So grain size helps explain which note a dune sings. But how does sliding sand turn into such a loud, resonant song in the first place? Here's the climactic secret. When millions of sand grains glide down a dune together, they behave like a natural amplifier. As the sand avalanche flows, each grain vibrates and collides with its neighbors, about 100 times per second. One grain's tiny click is too faint to hear, but when billions of grains collide in sync, those little shocks combine into a big, unified sound. It's like the difference between a single cricket chirping and a whole stadium roaring in unison. The entire dune slipface begins to vibrate like a giant speaker membrane, pushing the air and generating a surprisingly powerful low-frequency hum. The dune face becomes a huge loudspeaker, broadcasting the sound of the sliding sand. This is why the noise can be so loud and sustained. Before we wrap up, here are a few rapid-fire bizarre facts. First, singing sand dunes span the globe. Besides the ones we've explored, booming dunes echo in places like Mongolia's Gobi and the Namib Desert of Africa. In Kazakhstan, the famous singing dune of Altin Emel National Park emits a deep, organ-like rumble in dry weather. Second, not only deserts sing, even some beaches around the world have singing sand. If you scuff your feet on dry sand, the quartz grains can produce a high-pitched squeak or whistle. There's the aptly named Singing Beach in Massachusetts and Barking Sands Beach in Hawaii. Yes, the sand there barks like a squeaky toy when stepped on. Third, the world's tallest sand dunes in China's Badain Jaran desert are also among the loudest. These monster dunes soar over 1,600 feet high and can produce a thunderous boom that shakes the ground. Marco Polo wrote about these Chinese dunes singing so loudly that they frightened travelers into silence. So there you have it. Sand dunes that sing like a choir, a phenomenon once deemed folklore, now explained by science. From the low, moaning G-sharp of Morocco's dunes to California's thunderous, barking sands and China's colossal, humming mega-dunes, we've heard how the Earth itself can produce an enchanting, otherworldly music. It's a perfect blend of physics and wonder, millions of grains of sand dancing in unison to create a sound that has spooked and awed humans for generations. And that's another journey, beyond bizarre. If your mind is officially blown, smash that subscribe button because we're just getting started. Until next time, keep pushing beyond the ordinary.